Osmosis, #1 for the year, best DEX. Hello, and welcome once again to Escaping Dystopia, DeFi edition. Today is a very special episode for you. We are going to be doing our review for the best decentralized exchange, DEX, from 2021. Now, this is stuff I've been working with all year, doing stuff across blockchains, across ecosystems, playing with a lot of different DeFi, decentralized finance stuff. For this video, I'm going to start talking to you as if you know WTF I'm talking about. I've done a series of videos, I'll link to them here, where you can look at some of the historical stuff we've done on this issue to bring you up to speed. So I've been working on a series of videos. We've got our web wallet video, we've got our DeFi intro video in 2 parts. This is part of the whole series together. So this all comes together in the culmination of this. I had wanted to do a series of individual DEX reviews throughout last year. I wasn't able to really get to that. Now to 2022, so I'm just going to do all of them at once and tell you which I think was the best one with the answer. So without any further ado, bam, here's your list. Put it up later. That's it, right? I think Osmosis was the best DEX of 2021. Spooky Swap was pretty close. It's on the FTM network. Radium is also outstanding on Solana. QuickSwap on the Matic network gives you all sorts of interesting things to do. PancakeSwap on BSC is also starting to round out the middle tier. Terra Station has some features. They just added really some of their other stuff to get there. And then Secret Swap, the Tezos ecosystem, get an honorable mention, as well as I would be remiss to go through all of this without mentioning the Ape board. I wouldn't say essential, but very, very useful tool for tracking all of this and keeping track of what the heck's going on and allowing you to make these kind of determinations. So now that I've given you the list, you can move on if you like. So again, it's better for the channel and everything if you watch the whole thing. Again, all of this stuff is very subjective. This has been my experience with you moving my value around using these various blockchains. My background is a developer, data guy. I'm not going to really talk about much of my background today. We'll jump right into it. So, Osmosis. So why is Osmosis the best one for this year? The thing that you need to understand about Osmosis, what you're swapping around and what these pools are and what these assets represent, all except this one right here, Ion. We'll get to that in a little bit. Every single one of these, Cosmos, Terra, Crypto.org, UST, another slight exception, Secret, Juno, Stars, Wawa, XPRT, AKT, Akash, Regen, DVPN, Iris, all of these going all the way down here, these are all sovereign blockchain. So it's helpful to understand here that each one of the assets listed on Osmosis are not tokens on a particular chain. They're not something that's all deployed on Ethereum or on Matic or on Phantom. These are all sovereign blockchains. And you are trading on Osmosis layer 1 coins. Really. Each one of these coins is paying for transaction fees on that blockchain itself. Osmosis, this being the generation year, the Genesis year, they've been around for about 6 months now. All transactions on Osmosis to the chain itself are free. Gas is free. You are paying transaction costs on the pool. Each pool identifies its own swap fee and is configurable as people set up their own pool. Pools are also incentivized. These are the incentivized pools where they have a certain amount of Osmosis that is defined to be incentivizing people for giving liquidity. You'll remember from our basic DeFi video, there is a risk with adding your assets into these pools. Again, you can see that video if you'd like a little bit more detailed explanation of the risks of liquidity pooling and bonding. I go into it a little bit more there. Each one of these pools identifies the locally incentivized pools, which is incentivized in Osmosis, because again, these are all layer 1 chains, It also has external incentivized pools. These would be similar to dual reward pools in other systems. Each one of these essentially are created by voting and governance structures to then provide a certain amount of assets that are bonding to the pool as additional rewards to the Osmosis rewards that you're getting. This is really possible in this sense, and it works really well in this ecosystem because, again, each one of these is a sovereign blockchain. Each one of these pools, each one of these incentivizations, all of these are created through governance votes. So they're all essentially DAOs working together. If you've started to hear that term, this decentralized autonomous organization, for all of these sovereign blockchains that are part of the Cosmos ecosystem, they all come essentially with a DAO module that really kind of core now to any community building thing. So these are not just sovereign one blockchains that are here exchanging value on Osmosis. These are whole communities trading that community value with their ability to affect these state machines and all this kind of stuff. So there is a lot of stuff going on here, and I've got my other video that I just recently did about how Cosmos and the Atom token, which here is the core of this $500 million pool, is half of it with Osmo, right? And how it accrues value, and how their whole design philosophy was not to create a single blockchain that everything depended on, but in create tools that people can create their own application-specific blockchains. And that's what Osmosis is. It's an AMM-specific application blockchain. It is built to be an AMM. And so that's all it does. We'll see. I mentioned the ion thing, and that's a whole nother question. The stats page for Osmosis, for all of these DEXs, they should absolutely have some sort of page overall that shows their overview of what's going on in the pool. Here you see liquidity now is about $1.4 billion, volumes around $100 million recently per day. Then you have each of the tokens that are broken down here and their assets, their volume. Very simple, very straightforward. This info page, again, is also available on GitHub. That's, again, one of the things that you're looking for in a lot of decentralized cryptocurrency space. You want to find the GitHub, you want to read the code, you want to see that it's actively being developed, you want to see stuff happening. There's so much stuff that you can add to each one of these, and that's what kind of why we get the 8-board honorable mention. Sometimes on a lot of these, as you get more complex or complicated financial vehicles, it's hard to keep track of what's going on with all of them. This is why Osmosis finally, now this is, I guess, my final point. The big reason why it gets a big win is not only the cross-chain L1 token model, but all of these others, Spooky Swap, Radium, Quick Swap, Pancake Swap, Secret Swap, Plenty, all your rewards accrue by transaction or by block, right? And it's, it's small, it's over time. They're just a very linear collection of rewards, right? So with, say, like Quick Swap or Radium, you wait, you put in a certain amount of value. It costs a little bit to collect this all the time, so my general rule of thumb is I'm not going to pay more than like 3% gas fee to collect new revenue, and that's at the high end, right? And if you think about how Ethereum works, if you've ever tried to collect rewards on DeFi and Ethereum, like 3%, holy crap, I'd have to have, yeah. So that's kind of my rule of thumb, is I'm not going to collect stuff unless the collection cost is less than 3, maybe 5% of the total value that I'm collecting. So if I have a certain amount of money in a pool here in QuickSwap, I'll wait until the rewards are significant enough to then, claim and then reinvest someplace else. Again, the whole point of a lot of this DeFi stuff is compounding rewards. So they have a certain amount, right, and you get this percentage. These are some of the lower ones, but anyway, you can go look at how some of this stuff works to see what these numbers are. The way Osmosis works and the way that they've tried to do this is because it's an AMM dedicated blockchain. It's the whole chain is dedicated to this notion of understanding how much value is staked, how much is there, how much reward you are. their epic system essentially becomes kind of like it's a daily cycle, kind of like a business intelligence, a BI cycle from the data side, where at the end of each cycle you then calculate everything, you pass it out all in one chunk, and then you start the next day. So instead of it being a continual accrual by, by day, by moment, the way Spooky Swap and all, again, everything, Radium, Uniswap, by transaction, by block collection of rewards, which is a very slow, steady pace. Osmosis aggregates it all and delivers it at once. And they do that both for internal and external rewards. So after the epic, which happens each day at, I believe it's 1700 UTC, pass out all the rewards, and then everybody starts repositioning their assets for the next epic. And it creates a much more usable, cyclical, methodical pace to DeFi that becomes much more over time usable and workable. And that's why Osmosis is my DEX of the year for 2021. Quick bonus content. Sorry, I forgot to mention this. Real quick points of discussion. Why have I not talked about any algo or ADA DEXs, governance, all that? So I've participated this last year both in algo governance and ADA governance, and both of these chains, while fun and interesting, are way, way, way behind where the Cosmos, Ethereum, FTM, Solana, Matic, BSC, Luna, they're just way behind all of these other folks. So they're kind of starting to get going. So maybe over 2022 we'll see them deploy some really cool products that really do something. But so far, neither of them have really shown the ability to keep up with what's going on. So maybe that'll be a challenge. Maybe somebody will inform me here in the comments that I'm a complete moron who knows nothing. I'm sure that's going to happen. But anyway, that's why they didn't really make the cut for 2021. Thank you for watching, and happy trading.